Hello, everyone, and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain. And today, still a while, for we are playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 7 with my Tampa Bay Lightning Historical Challenge. So, I did it again, folks. I cursed my team. And by that I mean I have made another big trade. So, as we know now, whenever I make a big trade, my team tends to underperform. So, I did it. It's a fairly big trade, I think. And the player that I am getting back should help raise maybe the interest of my friend JT Dutch there. You'll see here in a second why. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. So, let's get going. Now, of course, the trade isn't going to come through for a few days, so unfortunately, that player I won't get for that very important game against the Washington Capitals, but hopefully, we can prevail regardless. On the injury front, Bill Garen with his setback has, he's pretty much done for the rest of this season. If we make the playoffs, he might show up there. That would be great, but I am not expecting too much from him at this point. Steve Richin should be back soon, though, so sometime during this video at the very least. So, as far as the standings go, yeah, that's not too good. We're ninth in the East. Of course, we need to get to at least 8 if we want to be in the playoffs. I feel that sometimes I don't explain that enough. I just take for granted that people that watch that far into my series know about hockey, but maybe not. So, yeah, we need to reach 8 spot now. 8 is held by Washington, which is the next team that we're playing. We have a game on them, and we are 3 points behind. So yeah, that game right there is crucial. Thankfully, it's at home because if you look on the left of the screen, as you can see, the last time we played in Washington, it wasn't pretty. We lost 7-0. But anyway, so without further ado, let's get going here in March of 1999, where the Lightning hopes that we can put together a few wins. We have had a lot of problems doing that all season. We have been very inconsistent. Not a lot of winning streaks. A lot of win one, lose one, win one, lose two type of scenario. Oh, William Davidson is concerned about my work. We went 3-5-3 last month, so that's 2 months in a row that we kind of struggled, and we are where we are. Alright, so playing Washington, they are 27-27-6, and as I just said, they are 8 in the East. That's the team we're trying to catch. We are 1-2 against Washington this season. We need this victory here. Come on, team. Alright, so Olaf Kozig is going to be in net for Washington, and I'm going to go ahead and have Nikolai Abibulin in net for this game. Come on, Lightning. Go, Lightning. Ugh, another dreaded tie to start the month. So we get a point. Sadly, the team we're chasing also gets a point. So we're not closing in the gap here. So we tied 2-2 at home against Washington. Oh, it was a pretty offensive game. We outshot them 42-41. Scott Young was the first star of the game. He had a goal. Steve Konowalchuk was the second star of the game. He had a goal as well. And Martin Striker was the third star with an assist. 13,384 people in attendance for this game. So Washington scored first in the first period. And then Alexander McGillney tied the game from Marcus Naslund. But then Washington scored again. It was 2-1 Washington after one. Nobody scored in the second, and then in the third period, Scott Young scored from Boris Mironov and Martin Straka. It was tied at 2, and then obviously nobody scored in overtime. So we have a tie. Next game is gonna be tough. Alright, so those guys are feeling the way they feel. That's how I always like to call it. I struggle to figure out how a player feels like he's not a part of the team for more than a season. And I understand they're not playing on the team per se, but I mean, you have the American League and everything. You know, you get to play there, make friends. But it is what it is. Oh, Steve Richardson is day to day now. Come home, Steve. There was no stopping Peter Sikora, who had 4 goals against the Leafs. Pretty good game. Alright, so this game should be tough. We are going to be playing against the Colorado Avalanche at home. Colorado is 31-22-9. That's a pretty good record. We are 0-1 against them this season. We did lose 8-4 in Colorado. So let's see if Matt Sundin can have a good game against his former team. Alright, so Colorado is going to go with Manny Fernandez in net, and we are going to go with, yet again, Nikolai Abibulin. And we lost 2-1. That was kind of, you know, to be expected. Colorado outshot us 30-26. Matthew Barnaby was the first star of the game. He had an assist. Maxim Sushinsky was the second star with a goal, and Mike Ritchie was the third star with a goal as well. So Colorado scored first in the first period. Then there was a fight between Adrian Okoye and Chris Simon. Then in the second period, Maxim Sushinsky scored on the power play from Matt Sundin, tied the game at 1. But then Joe Sakic early in the third period scored the game winner. Colorado won that one 2-1. That's not good, folks. We need W's, not L's. Alright, Matthias Seeger back from suspension with the Kings, and then we're gonna get... So I'm going all in, right? I have only a couple years left before the challenge ends. So usually I'm a little bit more conservative when it comes to like making big trades and everything, but I realize, you know, I don't have many years left, so I have to kind of pull the trigger on some deals. No, I did not trade for Wayne Gretzky. That's not what's going on here. So I sent Greg DeVries, a first and a second, and Manny Malhotra to the Kings for basically Rob Blake. So I know JT Dutch, if you're watching that, I know you're probably going to be, well, I won't say happy, but it might pique your interest to see how we can do with Rob Blake on the team. And I had to pick up Andreas Solomonson as, you know, a throwaway in the deal that, you know, I don't really care to have. But, yeah, so basically 2 draft picks, Greg DeVries, who wasn't playing on the team, and Manny Malhotra, who won't have the time to develop before the challenge is over, for Rob Blake and Andreas Solomonson. All right. So now, unless something falls on my lap, I am done shopping for real. Okay, I added 2 big pieces this season, Rob Blake and Matt Sundin. That should be good enough. Now, sadly, for Ed Jaranovsky, that means that he gets to be sent down, but he was not producing. He played 20 games and he had 2 points. Now, I understand, you know, defense, offense is not necessarily always the best way to gauge, but still. Right, and Salomonson, I don't care. Sorry, I don't mean to make you feel bad, but I don't really care if you're on the team or not, so there you go. Alright, so Salomonson has been put on waivers. I doubt that he's going to get picked up. Yeah. That is so funny. Okay, alright. So Jan Benda is on waivers, and so is Brent Peterson. Alright, so passes on point for Phil Housley, so he had 4 assists against Detroit. Mario Lemieux played in 1,000 games in his career, celebrated that with a little 2-goal, 3-assist night against Edmonton. 33 years old Mario Lemieux is still a 5-star player. And the Kings announced the claim of Andreas Salomonson from waiver, so he's going back to the team that didn't want him in the first place. He was on the trade block and the throwaway in the trade, so they picked him back up. Ron Francis is hurt for 2 weeks, so might not play for a little bit. And I need to give a number to Rob Blake. I'm going to give him 44. There you go. I knew that Rob Blake would be a gentleman and not be too upset. I mean, Boris Mironov has been with a team for a while, so I didn't feel okay with stripping him of his number just like that. All right, so let's see what kind of impact Rob Blake is gonna have. He's joining the team right on time for a long road trip here that starts in Montreal, who eliminated Toronto in real life and are now going to the second round. I never thought that would be possible. So let's see here. So Montreal is 32-26-5. That's good for second in the East. And we are 0-1-1 against Montreal this season. A W here would feel really good. Look at that. So Sean Chambers plays with Rob Blake, Adrian Aucoin plays with Teppo Numminen, and Per Gustafsson plays with Boris Mironov. Maybe I should have gone for a left-handed defenseman, but, you know, it is what it is. Right, so Nikolai Abibulin is going to be in net for us. Patrick Roy is going to be in net for Montreal. Come on, Rob Blake, give me 7 points. That would be a good start. Well, it's impossible for him to get 7 points, but we did win 6-4 in Montreal, so the Rob Blake effect already starting to make it manifest itself. We outshot Montreal 38-34. German Titov, who has had a couple very quiet seasons, is the first star with 3 assists. Matthew Schneider is the second star with a goal and 2 assists, and Alexander McGillney is the third star with 2 assists. So Adrian Aucoin opened up the scoring in the first. That was his 10th of the season already from Marcus Naslund and German Titov. I say already, we're in March, but still, that's not bad. 10 goals for a defenseman. That's absolutely good. And then Montreal tied the game after that. We were tied at 1 after 1. And we had a really good second period. We scored 4 times. Teppo Numminen scored from German Titov. Then Sean Chambers scored his 5th from German Titov and Alexander McGillney. Then Mikael Andersson scored on the power play from Alexander McGillney and Martin Straka. Then Per Gustafsson from Valerie Bourré and Mikael Nylander. We were up 5-1 after 4 of our 5 goals scored by defensemen. And nobody scored twice, so yeah, we're getting equal offense from our back end at this point. And in the third period, Montreal felt uneasy, so they scored, made it 5-2. Then Marcus Naslund scored on the power play from Boris Mironov and Vili Peltonen, made it 6-2. Then Montreal scored 2 more goals, but it was too late. We won 6-4. Oh no. Andreas Salomonson was claimed by the Kings. Ooh. I can totally picture Andreas Salomonson, watching this video and being like, "You mother fudge sickle, I'm gonna go and slash your tires." Brian Berard is back from suspension in Toronto. Oh, the Islanders fired Mike Milbury, so history does repeat itself. And Randy Carlyle is now the coach for the Islanders, so he replaces Mike Milbury. Alright. Jeff Odgers is on waivers. I'm not going to pick him up. Jeff Odgers was more of a face puncher than anything. Mark Messier is back from suspension. He was gone for a while, if I remember, like 10 games or something, I think. Claude Lemieux has racked up 600 points in his career with an assist against the Islanders. Claude Lemieux is 33, still a 3-star player. Right, so we're about to play a pretty important game. We are about to play in Ottawa against the Sens. It's important because the Sens are right behind us in the standings, and they are only 2 points behind with the same amount of games played. So if we lose against them, they are going to catch us. So we kind of need to win this. So Ottawa is 25, 29, and 8. As I just said, they are 10th right behind us. We are 1-1 against Ottawa this season. We are playing them on the road. Right, so Rob Blake didn't get a point in his first game. That means he's going to get 7 today in this game. Nikolai Abibulin in net for us. Patrick Lalime in net for the Sens. Come on, man. Come on, Lightning. Another W, that's good. We won 4-3. So the games are tight, but we win. At least the last two. That's what's important. Oh, yeah, we outshot Ottawa 53-35. Matt Sundin was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Alexei Yashin was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Mikael Anderson was the third star with 2 goals. So Ottawa scored first in the first period. And then they scored again in the second. It was 2-0 Ottawa at that point. But then we tied the game. Mikael Anderson on the power play from Alexander Mogilny. And then Mikael Anderson again from Matt Sundin and Adrian Aucoin. It was tied at 2 after 2. Then in the third period, Rob Blake scored his 18th of the season from Scott Young and Ryan Smith. 3-2. Then Ottawa tied the game at 3. But then Marcus Neslin scored on the power play from Matt Sundin and Adrian Aucoin. And nobody else scored after that. So that is a 4-3 victory today. Looking pretty sharp, folks. And Rob Blake scored. That's it. I won the game. Niklas Sundstrom has a good game. 3 goals and an assist against Montreal. And now we're going to play in Toronto against the Leafs. The Leafs are 16-41-7. That's good for dead last in the East. It's not even close anymore. For a while, them and Buffalo were kind of switching places. But yeah, it's not close anymore. They are 11 points behind the Sabres. We are 2-0-1 against Toronto this season. Another win would feel pretty good. We're going to go with Johan Edberg in net. He's had some struggles lately. He's going to face Grant Fior, who's also had some struggles lately. Wow, they have some very similar stats. And it's another win, 5-1. There you go. We outshot Toronto 46-29. Marcus Neslin was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Martin Straka was the second star with a goal and an assist as well. Teppo Numminen was the third star with 2 assists. Right, so we did open up the scoring in the first in that one. Marcus Neslin scored from Teppo Numminen. It was 1-0 Tampa Bay after 1. Then in the second, Toronto tied the game, but then Sergei Brin scored from Brian Rafalski and Boris Mironov. It was 2-1 Tampa Bay after 2. And then we scored 3 goals in the third period. Rob Blake scored again from Marcus Neslin and Matt Sundin. Then Martin Straka from Teppo Numminen and Valerie Bourré. And then Alexander Mogilny on the power play from Martin Straka. 5-1. The Lightning wins this game. And German Sitov is hurt. It's a day-to-day injury, so that shouldn't be too bad. Gordon Murphy is not suspended in Boston. Still in the lineup over there. Yeah, we don't have to do anything. You can rest while on the lineup. Ooh, oh, that's not good. So Sean Van Allen is hurt in Nashville. He has a grade 3A concussion, and he's going to be out for 5 months. That's not as long as who is it that got a concussion for more than a year? I forgot. Somebody in my last video did. Who was it? I cannot for the life of me remember. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I cannot remember. Of course, if you're watching that, you have the luxury to go back and check. I'm kind of, recording. I guess I could pause to go and check, but I'm not that motivated. I can check somewhere else, though. Now, I really can't remember. Wasn't it a Nashville player, too? We're going to find that out. Yeah, I want to say it was some, wasn't it like Kent Manderville? Maybe not. Richard Medvedchuk is suspended. He's going to miss 4 games. Corson is back from suspension. And Steve Richin is starting to feel better. Okay, now I need to know. Yeah, that's Kent Manderville. No, he has a ruptured bicep tendon. Don Sweeney, that's a yeah, grade 3B concussion. It's Don Sweeney that's out for more than a year. All right. So I remember that Kent Manderville got a pretty bad injury as well, but I misplaced them in my head. It happens. I cannot remember absolutely everything. Okay, alright, so we are now stopping in Buffalo against the Sabres. Now that road trip so far has been pretty good to us. Buffalo is 22, 36, and 6. They are 13th in the East. We are 3-0 against the Sabres this season. Let's make it 4-0 so that we can feel good about ourselves. Nikolai Abibulin is going to be in net for that one. Dominik Hasek in net for the Sabres. He has an excellent save percentage, but his team cannot win. Except today, apparently, we lost 2-0 against the Dominator. Oh yeah, he stole that one. We outshot Buffalo 48-30, but Dominik Hasek did what he does best, which is frustrate the opposition with his erratic style that worked. He had a very unconventional style. If you're younger and you've never really watched Dominik Hasek play, he had a very unorthodox style, but it worked. So alright, so we outshot them 48-30, so Hasek is the first star, obviously, 48 saves in a shutout. That's pretty much a guarantee. Teppo Numminen was the second star without any points, and Brad May, wow, offensive game of his career there with 2 assists, was the third star. Not a whole lot to talk about here. No fights, we didn't score. Next! Oh, Mikael Anderson is hurt. Well, depending on how long it is, Matt Sundin might actually get a competent winger. No, Anderson is only a 10. That kind of bothers me that he plays on the first line a little bit. Right, Steve Richin is almost ready. Mikael Anderson is hurt for 1 to 2 weeks, so I'm going to recall somebody. Whoa. Alright. I guess I'm getting Glenn Metropolit back up. And he might not be up for long. Steve Richin's about to come back, but yeah. Alright, and we are finishing our road trip almost at home. We're going to be next door in Sunrise against the Florida Panthers. Murray Craven is back from suspension in Carolina, back in the lineup over there. And Christer Olsson is also back from suspension with the Sharks. Alright, we're about to play Florida. They are 24, 34, and 7. That's good for 12th in the East. We've struggled a little bit against Florida this year. We are 1-2 against them this season, so I'm all for beating them now. Nikolai Abibulin in net for us. Kirk McLean in net for the Panthers. And it's a 2-1 win, so not a shellacking, but a win nonetheless, and I will take it. It was a pretty even game as far as at least shots. It's pretty much everything except the penalty minutes and face-offs, I guess. So shots were tied, 26 apiece. Michael Lanzus was the first star of the game. He had an assist. Paul Carrier was the second star with an assist, and Alexander McGillney was the third star with a goal. So McGillney opened up the scoring in the first period. That was his 15th of the season from Michael Lanzus. Then Adrian Aucoin scored from Martin Straka and Scott Young. 2-0 Tampa Bay after one. Nobody scored in the second, and then a little bit after the midway mark of the third period, the Panthers scored, made it 2-1, and we managed to hold on to this lead. So it is a 2-1 victory. So all in all, not too bad. That road trip was like, what, 5 games? We won 4 of them. That's pretty darn good. There was no stopping Pat Falloon, who had a hat-trick against the Suns. Trade deadline is nearing. I did my shopping already. Would be nice if other teams were to trade. Feels like I haven't seen a trade from computer teams in my universe in a while. Alright, so we have a few days off before we host the Pittsburgh Penguins here. Steve Ruchin about to come back. German Titov about to come back. Oh, Patrick Roy is sick. An unspecified illness has apparently felled Patrick Roy, who will likely miss some time until he recovers. First degree burns. What the heck happened? Oh, Ruchin is back. Now that's good. He's been gone a while. Hello, Steve. We missed you. Alright, Metropolit can go back down. Alright, now that's going to be a pretty tough game here. We are hosting the Pittsburgh Penguins. They are 45-17-4. That is good for first in the East by a very big margin. We are 1-3 against Pittsburgh this season. We did win in Pittsburgh 3-1, but other than that, they pretty much owned us. Oh. I'm kind of looking at my lines and everything. I don't hate them. I don't hate my lines. Alright, Andre Mazin is going to be in net for Pittsburgh. We're going to go with Abby Boulin. Abby Boulin has 5 fires, but so does Mazin. Oh yeah. We defeated the top dog in the East. 4-2, pretty decent game here against Pittsburgh. We played them pretty good. We even outshot them. Yeah, we outshot them 38-26. Matt Sundin was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Jaromir Jagr was the second star with 2 assists. And Maxim Sushinsky was the third star with a goal and an assist. So, 14,638 people were in attendance for this game after a long road trip. Nobody scored in the first period. Then in the second period, Maxim Sushinsky scored from Valery Bourré and Michael Lanzus. Then Brian Rafalski from Matt Sundin. And then Alexander McGillney from Scott Young and Adrian Aucoin. It was 3-0 after 2. Then in the third period, Pittsburgh scored, made it 3-1. Then Ryan Smith scored on the power play from Matt Sundin and Maxim Sushinsky, made it 4-1. And then Pittsburgh scored again, made it 4-2, but that was too little too late. We won this 4-2. And I am going to pause the video because food is here and I am hungry, so I will be right back. And we are back, now well fed and with more vitamin WTF. That's right. Alright. Alright, so I finished the game and I didn't read the news yet. So Richard Matvichuk is back from suspension, back in the lineup with Dallas. And German Titov is completely recovered from his injury. Right, one more day off, and then we're going to play another tough team. John Leclerc extends his goal streak to 5 games with 2 goals against Nashville. And today is the trade deadline. Nobody has traded except for me, and I made 2 big trades. Alright, so Detroit is really, really, really good. They are 48, 15, and 5. That's even better than Pittsburgh. We have not played Detroit so far this season, so let's take a look at their lineup here, see what they have in store for us. Oh, it's gonna be tough. They are healthy. Can't catch a break. Alright, so Byron Dafoe is the starting goaltender in Detroit, and this guy is the backup, Brian Regan. Can't say that I'm super familiar with him. Francis Caberly, Nick Lidstrom, Yves Racine, Dick Tarnstrom, Drew Bannister, Steve Chiasson, Jeff Finlay, Chris Joseph on D. Then up front they have Travis Green. I'm guessing that's Curtis Brown. Yep. Vyacheslav Kozlov, Bates, Bordeleau, Fedorov, Primo, Sillinger, Yzerman, Cicerelli, Drake, Lapointe, and Shepard. Yeah, that's a pretty good team. I'm scared to play them. Alright, so Byron Dafoe is going to be in net for Detroit. He has 5 fires to his name, and he's going to be facing Nikolai Abibulin, who also has 5 fires to his name. Oof, yeah, we got a severe correction here. We lost 7-3 on home ice against the Red Wings. We were outshot 38-20. Vyacheslav Kozlov was the first star of the game. He had a hat trick, 3 goals. Dick Tarnstrom was the second star of the game with 2 goals and an assist, and Sergei Fedorov was the third star with 3 assists. 15,818 people in attendance for the game. So Detroit scored 3 times in the first period, and then Marcus Naslund scored on the power play from Martin Straka. It was 3-1 Detroit after 1. Then they added 4 more goals in the second period. It was 7-1, and then Steve Ruchin scored from Valery Bourré and Brian Rafalski. It was 7-2. Then we added 1 more goal in the third period. Valery Bourré scored from Rob Blake and Sergei Brilin. And 7-3 is how we lost this game. Yeah, we saw that. Vyacheslav Kozlov got a hat trick. We saw that. Alright. Oh, God. Couple days off, and then we play another good team. We play the Rangers. Oh, Cujo is hurt. Curtis Joseph is hurt, but he's only day-to-day, so he should be back soon for the Blues. And again, nobody traded on trade deadline. That kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Mark Recchi reaches 500 assists with a goal and an assist against Detroit. Mark Recchi is 31, and he is still a 4-star player. Magnus Arvidsson is suspended in LA. He's going to miss 2 games. Mikael Anderson is starting to feel better. And apparently Mike Hudson hurt himself. He says, "I never was much of a handyman." So Chicago center Mike Hudson will miss up to 3 weeks of action after suffering a severely sprained index finger while making household repairs. "Next time, I'll call a professional," joked Hudson. "I never was much of a handyman anyway." Despite the levity of his comments, Hudson said he was extremely disappointed to be missing so much time. "It kills me that my team has to suffer for my clumsiness. I just want to get back out there on the ice and contribute as soon as possible." Alright, we are about to play the Rangers. They are 33, 27, and 10. That's good for 5th in the East. We are 1-0-1 against the Rangers. Let's see if we can beat them on home ice. You know who's been really quiet this month that we haven't heard his name much? Ryan Smith. He hasn't done much of anything. Alright, so Fred Brathwaite is going to be in net for the Rangers. We are going to go with Nikolai Abibulin. Oh, yeah, we managed to beat the Blue Shirts 5-3. Good win, good win. We outshot them 39-30. Markus Naslund was the first star of the game. He had a goal. Sergei Zubov was the second star with 2 assists. And Mikael Nylander was the third star with an assist. 15,832 people in attendance for the game. Rangers scored first in the first period. And then Valerie Bure tied the game from Adrian Aucoin and Mikael Nylander. Then Matt Sundin scored his 15th from Ryan Smith and Per Gustafsson. It was 2-1 Tampa Bay after one. In the second period, the Rangers tied the game. So we were tied at 2 heading into the third period. Then we scored 3 unanswered goals. Ryan Smith from Matt Sundin and Vili Peltonen. Then German Titov from Steve Richin. And then Markus Naslund scored his 15th from Scott Young and Martin Straka. It was 5-2 Tampa Bay. Rangers scored once, made it 5-3. But that was a 5-3 victory for the Lightning, which is us. Alright, Mikael Anderson is about to come back. Right, and we are about to host the Nashville Predators. Oh, Bill Garen might be starting to practice again. Oh, that's good news. Alright, so Nashville comes in town with a 23-38-9 record. We are 1-0 against the Nashville Predators this season. Right, Jeff Hackett is going to be in net for Nashville. He has 5 fires to his name. Nikolai Abibulin is going to be in net for us. He has 4 fires to his name. But the fires didn't matter in the end. We really handled the Predators with a 7-1 victory here. We outshot Nashville 46-21. Valerie Bure was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Matt Sundin was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Brian Rafalski was the third star with 2 assists. 13,517 people in attendance for the game. Nobody scored in the first, but we had a fight between Ryan Smith and Tim Taylor. Then in the second period, Ryan Smith scored from Matt Sundin. Then Markus Naslund scored from Teppo Numminen and Scott Young. Then Rob Blake scored his 20th on the power play from Valerie Bure. It was 3-0 Tampa Bay at that point. Nashville scored, made it 3-1, but Alexander Mogilny scored on the power play from Martin Straka and Brian Rafalski. 4-1 Tampa Bay after 2. And we added 3 more in the third period. Alexander Mogilny scored on the power play from Sean Chambers. Then Maxim Sushinsky from Valerie Bure and Brian Rafalski. And finally Matt Sundin on the power play from Rob Blake. It was a 7-1 shellacking of the Predators. Mikael Anderson almost back. There was no stopping Igor Korolev in St. Louis. He had a hat-trick against the Canucks. And Mikael Anderson is back. So, let's see here. Mikael Anderson can come back. I guess I can send down Anzus. I don't really like to do that, yeah, Sushinsky's been struggling a little bit. Decisions. Yeah, German Titov also has been struggling. I think that I'm just going to send him down and put him on waivers. I mean, Mikael Anderson has been a really good soldier for us, but he's only a 10 at his best right now, and my coach has a tendency to want to play him on the first line. So yeah, I'm sending him down. I mean, he had 25 points. That's not bad, but his ratings are horrid. They are terrible. Alright, so we are about to play Detroit. They are 50, 15, and 6. Of course, they just destroyed us 7-3 on home ice, and now we're going to play them on the road. Not sure how that's going to go. We're going to have Nikolai Abibulin in net for that one. The Red Wings are going to have Byron Dafoe. Oh! We managed to win 4-3 in overtime. So now keep in mind, we didn't give them a point. There's no loser point in overtime in 1999. So it is a straight 2-point game for us. That's pretty cool. Shots were tied at 43 apiece. Adrian Aucoin was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Ray Shepard was the second star with 3 assists. And Martin Straka was the third star with a goal and an assist. So we scored first in the first period. Martin Straka scored on a power play from Adrian Aucoin. And then, excuse me, then Detroit scored 3 straight. And it was 3-1 Detroit after 1. Then in the second period, Scott Young scored from Adrian Aucoin and Marcus Naslund. Then Adrian Aucoin on the power play from Martin Straka, tied at 3 after 2. Nobody scored in the third, and then Mikael Nylander played the hero in overtime from Teppo Numminen and Alexander Mogilny. It was a 4-3 victory for the Lightning. And we get 2 points that I wasn't necessarily expecting to get here. Maxim Sushinsky converts to left wing. Good for him. Oh, I don't think anybody claimed Mikael Anderson. Patrick Marleau has a memorable game. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Toronto. Alright, we have one more day off, and then we're going to be playing in Carolina against the Hurricanes. Good night for Ross Courtnall. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against the Devils. And Ulf Samuelsson played in his 1000th game in his career. No points for him, although that's really not what Ulf Samuelsson was known for. And he got his 1000th game against the Buffalo Sabres. Samuelsson is 35 and still a 2.5-star player. Alright, we are in Carolina to play against the Hurricanes. Hurricanes are pretty good. They are 34, 28, and 11. That's good for third in the East because they are atop of our division. We are 0-1-2. Excuse me, 0-1-2 against Carolina this season. We've been having problems winning against them. Abibulin is going to be in net for us. He's going to be facing Chris Osgood. Come on, Lightning. Give me another W here. Oh, yeah. We won 3-2. It's a much better month of March here, all things considered. We outshot Carolina 31-25. Rob Blake was the first of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Manny Manaluk. No, it's not Manny. What's his name? Mike Manaluk. Mike Manaluk. Second star with 2 assists, and Valerie Bourré, third star with a goal and an assist. So Carolina scored first in the first period, then Matt Sundin scored on the power play from Rob Blake and Maxim Sushinsky, and then Rob Blake from Sean Chambers and Valerie Bourré. 2-1, Tampa Bay after 1. Then in the second period, Valerie Bourré scored from Boris Mironov and Sergei Brin. It was 3-1. Carolina scored after that, made it 3-2. Nobody scored after that. Nobody scored in the third. And 3-2 is our final score today. Another victory on the road for the Lightning here. Brad May is suspended. He's going to miss 10 games. Oh my god. Keith Carney in that same game for the same team is suspended. He's going to miss 5 games. Woof. Magnus Arvidsson is back from suspension with the Kings. Vyacheslav Kozlov extends his goal streak to 5 games with 2 goals and an assist against the Flyers. Right, and we have one more game here in March. In a couple days, we're going to be playing in Dallas against the Stars. Alexei Kovalev has a great game. He had a hat-trick against the Islanders. And Kirk McLean fell from his roof. Yeah, lots of players this season have decided to try to fix things on their house, and they are regretting it. He's going to be missing a few weeks with a strained back. They'll teach him from trying to fix his roof. Ruslan Saleh is available on waivers. We've gone through that before. I'm not going to pick him up, but Robert Reichel is suspended in Calgary. He's going to miss 3 games. Valery Kamensky lights the lamp. 3 goals and 2 assists against the Flames in that same game. Pretty good game. And Sakic in that same game had a goal and 4 assists. No stopping Ron Francis, who had 3 goals against the Sens. And Connor Walchuk also had a hat-trick against Nashville. Right, and we are ready here to play the last game of the month in Dallas against the Stars. Dallas is pretty good, 42, 21, and 10. We did lose the only game we played against Dallas this season, and it was in Tampa Bay. We lost 4-0. So let's see if we can avenge that. Nikolai Bibulin is going to be in net for us. Magnus Eriksson is going to be in net for Dallas. And we lost 3-2 in overtime. So we end the month a little bit on a sad note, but all in all, I think we had a pretty decent month. So 3-2 overtime loss. Shots were tied at 30 apiece. Sean Donovan was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals. Sean Chambers was the second star with 2 assists. And Yanni Oyanen was the third star with an assist. Sorry, I struggled with his name for some reason. Right, so Dallas got 2 goals in the first period. It was 2-0 Dallas after 1. Then Rob Blake put us on the board in the second period from Marcus Neslin and Sean Chambers. 2-1 Dallas after 2. Martin Straka tied the game in the third from Sean Chambers. It was tied at 2. And then in overtime, Sean Donovan played the hero for Dallas with the game-winning goal in overtime. Interesting player on waiver. Oh yeah, that's Ruslan Saleh. I'm not going to pick him up. Vyacheslav Kozlov extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal and an assist against the Kings. Steve Yzerman has a great game. 4 assists against the Kings in that same game. Derek King had a good game for the Islanders. 4 goals and an assist against Florida. Pretty good game indeed. Palfi in that same game had 4 assists. And Pierre Turgeon had 4 assists as well. And the players of the month were Sergei Fedorov of Detroit, as well as Byron Dafoe of Detroit. So Detroit was really good this month, but we still beat them once. So we get to brag about that. All right, so okay, so we've created some separation here, so that's good. That's good. We needed that. So now we have a 6-point lead. We're 8 still, so that's the last spot for the playoffs. But Washington is now 6 points behind us, and we have played the same amount of games. More so, I am only 1 point behind Philadelphia, who played one more game than us, and 2 points behind Boston with the same amount of games played. And we have two games coming against Boston here in April, so we have a shot at finishing higher than 8 here. And now the cushion that we have with Washington is not big enough to feel like we're a lock for the playoffs or anything like that. But with the amount of games remaining and the way that we've been playing lately, I think we have decent chances to be able to at least be in the playoffs. Once we're in the playoffs, who knows what might happen? Just look at the Montreal Canadiens in 2021. They won 3 games in a row against Toronto, and they had not won 3 games in a row in months. So who knows? Alright, so that's the standings in the East. And the West, Detroit is going to be at the top, of course. Then the Kings have 100 points, and I took their captain away. Colorado, Dallas, Chicago, Vancouver, San Jose, and St. Louis. Alright. It's funny, I was looking at that. I've been complaining that I wasn't always scoring many goals and everything. We are the fourth highest scoring team in the East, and we're 8th. So really, our problem has been to keep the puck out of our net and to play better defense. That's really been our problem there. But anyway. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at our stats here. So our best player is Martin Straka. He has 54 points. Our second best player is Rob Blake. He has 49, of course. Most of them were acquired with the Kings. Marcus Naslund is having himself a little bit of a nice season here. 44 points. Ryan Smith, 40. Then McGillney, 39. Sundin, 39. So Sundin is starting to play a little bit better, I think. 27 points in 36 games for us. So yeah, that's a little bit better. That's not exactly at the pace that I want for him to play, but he's getting there. And then, it just dwindled down. So our true quote-unquote, true defenseman that played the entire season with us, the best one is Adrian Aucoin with 34 points. Alright, now let's take a look at the entire league. Ray Shepherd, 51 goals. Mario Lemieux, 66 assists. And Mario Lemieux is the best scorer with 108 points. Sakic has 105. Shepherd has 101. So we have some 100-point scorers here in 1999. Alright, and now we are going to take a look at the goaltenders. So did Abby Boulin get himself back up a little bit? Not really. Nope. Not there, not there. Alright, well that's pretty much it. We are going to go ahead and save the game. And now, as usual, I want to thank you for tuning in, and let me know what you think about the trade that I made. Was that a good trade, getting Rob Blake to play on defense for my team? He's 29, so he should be plenty good until the end of the challenge. At least that's how I felt. That's why I made the trade. But anyway, so if you've liked the video and you would like to help support me and my channel, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.